And then the last domain is about the assessment. The assessment
Yes.
is got 6 subdomains. One is attendance. I mean, I'm not going to look at it, but 75% attendance is the first subdomain. There is one standard. The first standard is school ensures 75% attendance in that. Then the second one is, of course, multiple modes of assessment to assess the performance with students. Assessment of learning, which we do formally. Assessment of learning is something is taught, some chapter is taught, and you want to assess. How can you do the multiple ways of assessment? Third standard, it talks about defined procedures and regularly assess the students' performance, assessment tools for learning and as learning. This is something people need to understand. Very, very interesting point. When children start talking about it, then we can get an idea about it, and then we can assess the children in a understanding what is the understanding levels also. So as I'm doing integers or numbers, natural numbers, I ask some question. It can be oral, or they can write it, or they can do anything. It's not necessarily oral, but it can be oral also. As while children or teachers are teaching, they are finding out what they learn, and if they are not able to go in the same speed, how she is moderating her teaching, how she is helping out, and then taking everybody along.
Essentially finishing the syllabus for her own self without going to the fact whether the child has understood it or not. As far as the teacher is concerned, the syllabus is over. It's a different story how much it is over for the child.
The child is over. I say that, don't punish the child.
Things we do a very simple exercise. We go to the class and we ask the children, how many of you are going for tuitions in the evening? Now, if more than 50% or 50% of the class is saying that we all go for tuitions in the evening, all you need to do is look at the teacher that what are you doing in the class if the entire class is going for tuitions in the evening. Means there is a major problem with your teaching. If 50% or whatever number of your children do not understand what you are teaching and they all feel the need for a clarity and they're going for tuitions, it doesn't work.
Small classes ask. As they grow up, they stop asking. One is like what you mentioned, tuition. So they think, whatever I don't know, I'll ask the tuition teacher. That is one thing. So the teachers said that if we do keep asking, allowing children to ask questions, we will not be able to complete the syllabus. That it really bothers me a lot. Syllabus completion has taken a very big position in our education system today, that they're not even looking at children. What is the learning outcome? So that is why this domain has been given 40%. Mind plays a role taking out the fear and anxiety. The same thing we do for the language also. So assessment can be done as a learning outcome of the child. What you have taught this much, he has learned this much, test that.
Actually, NEP talks a lot about accommodations and modifications in the curriculum, in the assessment patterns and all that. And I think we actually don't understand what the entire concept and what the spirit behind it is.
You tell me what all we learned in our school days. How much of it we are putting to use in real life? Real life is these skills. Now I'm talking to you. This skill is what I'm utilizing. And then, in that anxiety, teacher anxiety, they go and leak out questions to children. Previous day revision, some questions will come. Indirectly, they will give the question to them. It's all anxiety. Anxiety, overemphasis on marks. So, and one more thing, the standard 5, 1.6.5, I just want to talk about that 1.6.5 and 6.6. It talks about the holistic report card and progress of the child. This is something new that is coming up nowadays. Every school is trying to make. We map the child's growth. It is a progressive report card. There should be a place in the report card where you are tracking the progress of the child. How much is improved from last term to this term? Progress need to be tracked. Yes.
When you talk about the holistic report card, are you suggesting that we need not have the predefined parameters of assessment or parameters which we put in the report card?
Track the child, how he has performed in every subject or how he is improving in every subject, and that will help the child to know whether he is progressing or not. So all these new things we have tried in assessments, and many schools follow. Some of them, some new principals still they've got to believe in what we are doing. It takes time. We have about 90 schools. I don't think everybody is doing everything whatever I'm mentioning, but some of the leading schools are working on such things. So which helps a lot. And a lot of mentoring is needed for assessment to the teachers. Teachers, we normally do for teaching, learning, creativity teaching, and how to make creative, all of that we do. But assessment, how to make a question paper, is a big ball game which we need to give all the teachers, working extensively on what are all the different types and what is the advantage of, if I do this, what is the advantage, if I do this, what is going to be the advantage of it. Which are the team of children who cannot handle this kind of types of assessments? Generally, not about XYZ in the class, but you say that children, the physically, bodily active children cannot write long answers. The hyperactive children cannot write long answers. They are very good one-word answers, multiple choice, fill up the blanks. They'll do it like this. But long answer, they will leave and go. That's a problem here, I find.
Very true. In the session that we have with Manju ma'am, that session was on inclusive practices, and she really elaborated it in a very nice way that every class that inclusivity is there and has to be there. It is not about physical deformity or maybe learning disabilities.
I know. She's amazing. That is what.
So the assessment also has to vary.
Correct. And CBSE is also trying various methods. Now they've brought enrichment, which is addressing our diverse learning, diverse assessing styles, and formative assessments becoming enriching, creative, all of that. You see, all of that is put together. If you follow all the CBSE, that's why the first parameter, first standard talks about, are you following the CBSE norms? 1.1.2 is about CBSE and NCF and all of that. The Fit India project is an amazing project. Recently, CBSE has conducted teachers to take up research work, which is there in our NEP now. And 2 of our teachers have been awarded. CBSE has awarded them, giving them a stipend of 25,000 to carry on with the research work. Lots and lots of things are happening by CBSE, which we are hardly utilizing. So that itself has given a lot of scope for us.
Yes, ma'am. That was a brilliant session, ma'am. And I'm sure a lot of clarity about domain 1, particularly about domain 1.2, 1.4 and 1.6, which is assessment, physical health and education, and the training of teachers and general health and ethics and all that. I would be putting up this video for many other schools to see, for teachers, and it gives a lot of clarity. And as promised by you, we will be having a session 1 on building ethics and values in children, and 2 more about the Seva projects that the schools can do in their schools, because there are a number of takeaways, and I had expected to have those takeaways from your session. And ma'am, thank you so much for being with us. Sorry for bothering you, and I'll be bothering you again. God bless you, ma'am. Have a wonderful stay.
For the cause of education, anything for children, I'm available. Don't worry. You can take me for granted.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for your initiative. Good luck on that.
Thank you, ma'am.